Hey, this is Yoli Chisholm, and it's my objective to change your perspective. And in this episode of Askyoli, I have a question from, let me make sure, Jeffrey. So Jeffrey asks, how can I improve my design skill set while being able to juggle around managing a department? And Jeffrey manages a marketing department. He's head of marketing at a startup. And so I must say, I actually was debating how to answer this question because improving your design skill set encompasses a lot. And it really depends what you mean. So if you're just talking about, I want to be able to sort of design websites sort of in an optimal way and understand sort of best practices around website design, that is much easier to fix and improve because there are, millions of people and thousands of data and best practices that have been developed over the years, and people have shared insights around those, and you can basically go out there and figure out how to design an optimal landing page to convert users to do X, Y, or Z. So if that is the type of design skill set that you're talking about, that is just a matter of research. But if what you're talking about is actually has more to do with the work that artists do, in terms of a graphics designer or, somebody who's in the practice of designing your banners and your marketing materials. I actually consider those folks artists, and I have such respect for the field that I question sort of a marketing manager or somebody who's running a department wanting to improve their design skills. Now, if you're working in a startup, I understand you're wearing so many hats, but the impact of mediocre design is, I think, significant to a business. And so my philosophical part of my answer, and I will get to a more practical answer, but my philosophical part of my answer is really why. Like, why do you feel like you need to improve your design skill set? Is that just an aspect of your capabilities that you just want to improve? Or is it something that you actually want to bring to the business? And I question whether it's better to actually pay for somebody who does this work, who is an artist, versus you becoming a okay designer. So that's where I'll limit sort of my philosophical answer, but think about it, because it is worth it to hire an artist to do what they do. So whether it's a graphics designer, whether it's sort of your wireframes and your AI, and somebody who's really in the user experience field, those folks are indeed artists. And so the second part of my answer, and sort of practical side of my answer, is if you don't have time to become a great designer, there's certainly a ton of tools that have enabled even mediocre designers or non-designers to be able to deliver work that looks finished and polished. And I'm in that category, and I use a lot of these tools. So whether it's using Canva, canva.com, to develop just your basic set of marketing materials, it's hard to screw these templates up, and you can deliver work that isn't fantastic, but it isn't going to sort of undermine your brand and your business. So Canva and PicMonkey are two web-based design tools that have templates for a whole set of marketing materials that is pretty hard to screw up. And then Ripple is a mobile tool that I have found, RIPL, is super helpful at creating social graphics that look finished and polished on the fly, and just doing it on your phone. No need for a graphics designer. I didn't say that, but so, I understand what it's like when you're just a startup. You got to be able to deliver a creative that looks polished and look finished, but you may not have the money to spend on a graphics designer. So I understand that. Now, failing that, if you do have, so another tool is PictoChart, like for infographics, same thing. So think about what are the tools that have been created for non-designers. They're just getting better and better every year, and you can leverage them. Now, okay, so that's if you are just really, want to be able to turn out polished work, but don't have the time. So there are some tools that you can leverage. So Canva, PicMonkey, PictoChart, Ripple will be able to, it will be very helpful. And then 99 Designs I have found is good for sourcing freelance designers who can do specific sort of work, and you can get access to multiple designers. So 99designs.com if you're not familiar with this, but most marketers are familiar with those tools. The flip side of my answer is, if you want to free up time to actually become a good designer, then maybe one of the things you should be looking at is how can you build some efficiencies and free up some of your time as you're running this marketing department. So are you using tools like HubSpot or Marketo that essentially can be your sort of central marketing department and free up a lot of the busy work of running a marketing department with automation? I will just limit it to that, and just if it really is a passion of yours to improve your design skills, then maybe you can think about building some operational efficiencies into your marketing infrastructure, into your marketing tech stack, so you can free up some time to actually improve those skills. And if it's really just about getting finished design, leverage some tools. Okay, so let's say you're like, I do want to improve my design skills, and how can I accelerate that? There is no shortcut. I have so much respect for the design field that I do understand it's got everything to do with practice. Like, you have to be doing the work to improve your skill set in that field. And so whether it is, designing marketing materials, or whether it is improving your skills as far as sort of whether it's Photoshop skills or whatever tools there are that you're trying to improve your skill set in, that's going to require some time and some coaching and some training, and there is really no shortcut. And so, whether it's taking online courses at folks like Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera, or whether it is trying to replicate great design that you see, that's one way to sort of understand how did they do that. So particularly as it relates to graphics design, so understanding how folks got that effect. If you're talking about sort of art, pure art, like fine art, and integrating that into your work, same answer. Kind of takes practice, takes getting some formal training, and copying. Reverse engineering is probably a better way to say that. But yeah, I would really question why. Do you want to be a head of marketing, or do you really want to be a designer? Because and I'm just saying this in the spirit of mediocre design does more damage. And I know this because I struggle with it myself. I'm not a designer. and learned that very quickly. And I know what great design looks like. And I have respect for folks that are in that field. I really consider them artists. And so, yeah, hope that was helpful. All right, bye.